The wonderful world of Hitman. What's up, everybody? Ghost Gamer here, and today I'm reviewing Hitman Absolutions. Or Absolution, rather. Either way, I am going to come out and say this right here, right now. I think it is basically a requirement as a reviewer. If you are a huge fan of older Hitmans, the initial first half of the Hitman series, you may be a little disappointed with Absolution. May just be my opinion, may just be my thought and feeling on the matter. You may be a little bit disappointed. Now, as a third-person shooter video game, which is basically what this is, it's actually not too bad. I mean, it's kind of got this Splinter Cell feel to it. It does not feel like the original Hitman to me, but it's not a bad game either. If I looked at it strictly from a stance of, relating it to the older Hitmans, yeah, I would be disappointed. Trying to basically play it from, an absolute unbiased view from the very beginning, not really from the very beginning, but you kind of get where I'm going with this. It's one of those things that it's not a bad game. It's different compared to the originals. It is a little off, if you will. They have changed a few things around that kind of irritated me. Mainly the way some of the menus are set up and things of that nature. But when you get down to the nitty-gritty, yeah, I still kind of like it. As far as some of the graphical and streamlined things go, I have to say they did a pretty good job, especially if you have played it already. I'm talking about Chinatown. If you haven't played it, let's just put it this way. You have a shitload of people in one location that you can kind of blend and walk around with and all that other good stuff. Probably a good 600, 700, 800 people. Granted, they're all NPCs, but you have a very large amount of people with fireworks and everything else going on in the background. They optimized, well, they had to optimize the crap out of it, to be quite honest with you, because if you didn't, the possibility of running that in a very stream-like fashion is just, yeah. If they didn't optimize it, it would have ran like complete crap. Now, granted, I am playing this one on PC with a 360 controller. Unfortunately, because I don't know why. Usually I would use a keyboard and mouse with this since it is a shooter game. But I originally first played this when it came out on PS3. Between those, I mean, the graphics, either way, I mean, with that Chinatown scene, it did very well. You don't need a $8,000 computer in order to run that scene. That gives you an idea of what they've kind of went in with. From a development standpoint, some of the other things that I've noticed, although the graphics and the audio are really good and are really nice, the gameplay is a little off, especially compared to the older ones. I do not like the instinct meter or instinct function or whatever you want to call it that they added to the game. I think it kind of takes away from the gameplay a little bit. Matter of fact, I did my best not to use it just because. I mean, it just felt like it took away from it, and I did not care for it. On top of that, some of your AI is a little, I don't want to say it's bad, but it wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be. I really also don't like the idea of not really having a save option. You're being stuck with occasional checkpoints, which is absolutely and utterly annoying as far as I'm concerned. It's one of those things that I don't like to see when it comes down to a video game. I don't know. It's just crap. Give us a save option where we can hit the escape key or the pause, the start key, what have you. Go into the menu and actually save the game where we're at. Don't make us go through no. Adding to all of this, if you've watched any of my videos before, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, and I'll continue saying it along the line. I'm not a big fan of cutscenes. I don't like watching them. Doesn't matter if you can skip them or not, I still don't like having them, period. The disguises in this game are kind of... they're not great. They're not horrible, but they're not very good either. It's kind of like the game forgets occasionally that you're even wearing a disguise. I mean, it's one of those things, if you're dealing with a group in, theoretically, where you have the possibility of not knowing everybody that works there and you dress up in a disguise, I don't understand how the game could say that an AI finds you suspicious when you're not doing anything suspicious.
Could anyone ever really prove if he's...
I mean, occasionally it'll work for you and you'll be able to walk around and not be noticed and kind of do your own thing without alerting suspicion, but other times you get screwed, and I just don't like that. It sucks. I guess basic moral of the story would have to be, if they didn't title this as a Hitman game, I would probably like it more. And that is probably a lot of, it's got a lot to do with my old school gaming and, growing up with the original Hitman, Agent 47, and progressing on from there. If it was titled something else, it wasn't related to Hitman at all, and you were kind of doing your own thing, then it would be a different story. I understand that they're trying to progress a little bit with the new gameplay features and things of that nature, but at the same time, you have a lot of us, gamers, if you're making a series or you're adding to a series with a sequel or, the trifecta or something along that line, and yes, I know it would be considered a trilogy, but I prefer trifecta. Trifecta would be more appropriate as far as I was concerned when dealing with the gaming industry, because that's what they would consider it. But anyhow, coming down to the sheer fact that we are typically and normally very, what's the term I'm looking for here? We're kind of nostalgic and we kind of like things to be a certain way, especially when you're dealing with series. Whenever you alter that for any reason whatsoever, whether or not you're trying to make it better or you think you want to take it in a new direction, it has the possibility of backfiring on you. And when you deal with other people, or like other gamers, you will see that come out, especially for people who have played, all of the original Hitmans, from the very first one all the way up through like Blood Money and everything like that. Then they get into Absolution, and it's not one of those things that they're very thrilled about, because it kind of lacks that original, gameplay. It seems like it's kind of lost its identity. That's not cool. But like I said, from a standpoint, if they would have just wiped Hitman off the name, you have a different protagonist, it would have probably been a little bit different. It would have probably been something that is more personal, if you will. We would have related to it a little bit better. Things would be more on the up and up. From a standpoint of gameplay and, glitches that may be involved with graphics, so on and so forth, I would have to give this probably a 6, mainly because, there are some glitches. Some of the controls are a little funky from time to time. It seems like it's not polished as much as it should be. You know, the disguise function is kind of broken at times, it seems. Plus, you're adding cheaters to the mix, you know, such as, you know, the instinct. But at the same time, you went through and you've given it a nice bit of graphics. You've given it nice audio, nice voice acting. So, like I said, I'd have to give it a 6. If you haven't played it yet, it's been out for, let's see, when was it was released in, I think, November of 2012, if memory serves me right. So it's been out for 2 years. The price should have went down fairly dramatically. Should only be like, you know, maybe $15 at GameStop. You should be able to find it online at like Amazon or whatever for fairly cheap when it comes to PC games and even your console games. So if you haven't played it and you are not a die-hard Hitman fan, I would say go out, give it a try. You may like it, you may not. You may be kind of irritated by some of the things that they put into play. If you are a die-hard Hitman fan, you will be irritated with some of the changes and modifications that they have done to the game. All in all, yeah, I think that's about it for what I have to say on this game. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, if you feel that my opinions differ from yours, or you just have an opinion that you want to, you know, tell me about, by all means, throw it down in the comment box. I'll read it. I'll reply to it. Unless it's, you know, a closed-ended opinion and you don't leave it open for me to reply to. On top of that, if you found this informative at all, please hit the little thumbs up, give me a like on the video, and I gotta say, please hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, that way you know every time we kick out a video. But for now, this is Ghost Gamer, I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.
Unbelievable. You know what? I'm gonna sneak in there. He's just behind the door. I don't care if it's childish. I mean, I want to see.